Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Cheeseman, and this is where you can learn about cheese making at home or ask your questions, home cheese making questions anyway. This is episode 118. Lovely to have you all here today. There's so many people in the chat, which is absolutely excellent. Really appreciate everybody turning up week on week. It's really good fun to be here. Let's have a look. We've got lots of people. Before we do, though, just like to say thank you to all those people who support the show financially over at YouTube, YouTube members, which is the join button below, and via Patreon. The links are below if you're interested in supporting the show financially as well. But thank you to everybody who turns up week on week. Okay. This week's, well, you've already seen this week's video, or maybe not. It was the stir curd cheddar using the cold pressed raw milk. Very interesting experiment. I like the milk a lot. I'm going to send the video to the company today and see what they've got to say about it. And we'll go from there and see whether they want to offer any of this lovely milk for free for a quick shout out. Very similar to what we do with the other dairy that's local around here. That will be interesting. The all members and patrons have already seen a early access to Wensleydale with cranberries. So that video's up, unlisted at the moment. That'll come out I think Monday morning my time, so that'll be out soon. I'm working on Grana Padano style, so that'll be good fun as well. It worked in mostly. It dried out a little bit too much, but you'll see that in the video. I've already got another video up on YouTube, which is not ready for viewing yet, which is the fake Camembert stabilised paste washed curd bloomy rind cheese, and that'll be getting released next week as well. Stout cheddar, Lancashire, Cotswold, 10 ways with whey are all in post-production, so we've got a nice big list of videos there. And I'm working on the logistics of a sleep story, like a bedtime story, because people have said that they watch my videos to go to sleep, so I thought I might do a cheesy story and do a video just for people who want to go to sleep to my dulcet tones. Anyway, so that's the housekeeping for this week. Let's get on and say a few hellos or g'days. G'day, first of all, to Matthew, Law of Ohms, Chocolate RX, Jackson, Kangamoo, great name, love that. Olivia, Sebastian, Karen, Larry from Deep South Texas, Sean, who else we got? Leonardo, Felicia, g'day Felicia, Smith POQ, I think that's how you say it, E Jato, yeah, very cool. Who else we got? Janie, g'day mate, Kim, of course. Kim's here. Kim will be moderating the show today, which is absolutely fantastic. She does a great job. Ganesh, g'day mate, how are you? Justin and John, good to see you all. So fantastic work. Everybody turning up at this time of the morning. Well, it's probably evening where you are, but and for those Aussies, it's fantastic. Okay. Alrighty, see if we got any questions. Let's have a look. Laura of Ohms says, I'm about to open my first Formaggio Ubracchio. Thanks for the recipe, Gav. No problems at all, mate. Appreciate it. Hope it turns out well. I thought it was a lovely little cheese, so be nice. Chocolate RX says, how are you today, Gavin? I'm feeling fine, thank you very much. Hope the kiddies are watching as well. All right, Olivia says, good morning. Kangamoo says, hello. Jackson says, hello. G'day, Jackson. Sebastian says, here in my country, all the milk is pasteurised. Can be used to make cheese. How to make mozzarella doesn't work. Okay, lots of questions there. Can it be used to make cheese? Yes, indeed. Pasteurised milk can be used to make cheese. I'm living proof of that, and so are many of the people who are watching today. They've all made cheese with pasteurised milk. Now, if you can get your hands on some pasteurised but unhomogenised milk, then you will have greater success with your mozzarella. Just remember, there is a video, and Kim can put it up, but it's about the best milk, best cow's milk for cheese making. And Kim will put the link up for that. Go and have a watch of that, and you'll see the different types of pasteurisation. So there's just normal there's home pasteurisation, normal commercial pasteurisation, then there's varying levels of heat treatment that denature the proteins in the milk and kind of destroy it for cheese making. So go and watch that, and you'll be a lot wiser as to which sort of pasteurised milk you can use. Jackson says you need to add calcium chloride. Well, yes, you do. You need to add the same amount of calcium chloride as you do the same amount of rennet. Calcium chloride adds more soluble calcium to the milk, which is normally destroyed during the heat treatment, the pasteurisation, and that'll help you set a better curd. So that'll be good. Sebastian says he's cheers from the other face of the world, Uruguay. G'day, mate. Lovely to see you all the way from there. Sean says, my grandfather proved that you can make cream cheese out of powdered milk. He was a Kraft plant manager for 45 years. Kraft can make cheese out of anything. I just thought I'd say that. But yes, moving right along. Matthew says, question, Australia and the US seem to have very active home cheese making scenes compared to elsewhere from what I have seen. Do you think this could be because of the raw milk laws limiting choice in the shops? Yeah, it's probably got something to do with it, Matthew. People are always looking for choice, and if countries like Australia and the US ban the sale of raw milk cheeses, then of course people are going to go and start making them themselves. Look at European countries where raw milk cheese is not banned. You probably got lots of home cheese makers there, but they're not as active seeking information because it's been passed down from generation to generation. Plus, they can get their hands on some pretty wicked cheeses. So yeah, it's a good not analogy. It's a good statement. I think you're probably right. Laura Vohm says, Deep South Texas, how was the pitta? I think Larry made some pitta bread over on his channel, which you can go and check out if you like, at Deep South Texas. It's a very cool channel. It does lots of cooking besides cheese. Leonardo says, hi everyone, me again representing from Brazil. G'day, Leonardo. Felicia says, I want to make cheese with garlic and chili. Should I boil the garlic first? Depends on whether you're going to age it. Remember that garlic has lots of sulfur in it, and sulfur does retard the development of the lactic bacteria. So just be a little bit careful. Garlic tends to be better for fresh cheeses. So if you go and check out my Borson video, and Kim will put the link up in a second for Borson, and you'll see that it's quite easy to make. It's a nice, quick, fresh cheese. Tastes absolutely delicious. You can put garlic and chili in that one, no problems at all. Fresh, and it will taste amazing. So garlic is not recommended for long-aged cheeses. Fresh cheeses, no problems at all. Okay, where are we up to? Everybody's saying hello to Kim. Matthew says, have you tried making the spicy Greek cheese dip called tyrokaftori? It's made with Greek yogurt, feta, and chili, and it's very nice. Oh, that's interesting. I do like a good dip. I haven't tried that, no. Right, it's on the list. Any derivative of cheese is a good cheese. So, yeah, we'll try that. Thanks, Matthew. Appreciate it, mate. Felicia, I ferment my whey that contains culture. When I boil it to 90 degrees C, then I strain it until firm and salt it. How long can I keep the ricotta? If the ricotta is well salted, then I did a ricotta salata because I pressed the ricotta, which is known as the poor man's parmesan. Um, it turned out very well, tasted amazing. Um, I kept that for, I think it was 3 months before we ate it because it was well salted. It did get a fair bit of mold growth because there's not much creating acid. There's no acid developing lactic bacteria within the cheese, so that's a bit of a worry. Um, so it does grow mold quite well, and there's actually an update on the ricotta salata. There's mold all over it, so I'm scraping that off. But the cheese underneath was delicious, absolutely delicious. So it'll keep for ages. Fresh ricotta that's very moist will probably only keep for about 2 weeks before it starts to get a bit of mold growth on it. Hope that answers your question, Felicia. Next question's from Sean, or statement. He says, when he retired, he went into a senior work program where he went around the world setting up pasteurization systems in small dairies. Some rich dude paid him $20,000 to teach him how to make it. Very cool. That rich dude obviously is making lots of money too, seeing he's making the cheese. Where are we up to? Felicia says, I saw some cheese using herbs. Will the herbs help preserve the cheese? Is there any particular herbs that help? Herbs do not preserve the cheese. Salt preserves the cheese, Felicia. So herbs add flavour to the cheese. Well, hopefully Kim's popped that link up for you around the Borson. Patricia says, hello, Curd Nerds. Awaiting Hurricane Dorian here in Nova Scotia. Bit far north for a hurricane, isn't it? Won't be making any cheese this weekend, I'm afraid. Hopefully that all comes out okay and you don't get smacked by the hurricane, Patricia. But stay safe, mate. Stay safe. Janie says she's from Kingsman, Arizona. I think AZ is Arizona. Not sure. USA. Sean says, I want to be a stirred curd nerd. Very good. I like that. Nice, indeed. Ganesh says, greetings from Germany. That's a long way, and you must be up very late, Ganesh. Very cool. Let's have a look. Who's next? Leonardo says, Gavin, I'm having trouble to get sodium chloride non-iodized to use in my cheeses. Can I use some other salt that are easier to find, like glutamate monosodium? No, don't add MSG to your cheese. It doesn't preserve it. So no, any derivative of sodium is not the best. It's got to be sodium chloride. So see if you can find sea salt. So normal sea salt doesn't contain iodine. There's stuff like that in gourmet greengrocers or suppliers, that sort of stuff. Go online. We sell it. We'll ship it to you. It's no big deal. In fresh cheese, the iodine is not so much of an issue. It's in long-aged cheeses. Anything that's aged for, say, a month or more is where the iodine starts to degrade the action of the enzymes and the lactic bacteria. So for fresh cheese, it doesn't really matter about the iodine. I've found, not that I've used iodine salt, this is reports from other curd nerds that have told me that they use iodine in their cheeses. They're fresh cheeses only. But anyway. Justin says, heading back to Nova Scotia on Sunday, hope to miss the hurricane. And Patricia says, should be in Newfoundland by Sunday. Goodness me, it's no good at all. Per Ivar says, hey, Gavin, and hey from Norway. You must be up late too. But thank you very much for watching. Smith POQ says, that hurricane just left my area. It's a doozy. They're getting bigger and bigger. Olivia said, I should be prepping for the hurricane, but it's live with Cheeseman, so I'm not. Oh, gee, don't let me stop you prepping for the hurricane. If you really need to, then go and do it now. You can always catch up on the replay. You know, nothing's more precious than your life, so if you need to, off you go. Dunham says, hey, Gavin, been trying unsuccessfully to make bel paese using goat's milk. I raised goats, thought it would be fun. The cheese keeps coming out rubbery. Any suggestions? Only one suggestion, and that would be ease off on the rennet if it's a bit too rubbery. Bel paese typically is a very firm cheese. It's like long-aged mozzarella, kind of, if that makes sense. Which is unusual, but it's an amazing tasting cheese when you use cow's milk. I don't think the recipe was developed for goat's milk, but there's no harm in trying. But yeah, use a little bit less rennet. I think that'll be okay. Okay, moving right along. Laura Vohm says, is Formaggio il Braccio taste like acetaldehyde? That's no good at all. Disappointed face. It's no good at all. Maybe I would backpack it, age it longer. Maybe that will go away. Could have been something in the alcohol you used as well, which I used a sweet red wine. So I had lots of sugars there as well. And you could definitely taste the sweet red wine in the cheese when I made it. Okay. Attili, I think that's how you say it. Attli. I think that's how you say it. That's better. Good morning, Gavin. When will you be making cheese out of chocolate milk? Probably never. Too much sugar in it, and it won't mature properly. You'll get all sorts of weird tastes and flavors, and the chocolate will make the cheese bitter. But you can buy 2 litres of chocolate milk already made up here in Australia. It will be an interesting experiment, maybe to do one of those weird sort of videos. I don't know if people will like it, but I don't even know if it'll set occur because I think it's made with ultra pasteurized milk. It's the worst milk, the leftover milk from everything they make in a chocolate milk. Anyway, unless it's one of those artisan places that make really good chocolate milk. Anyway, Monique says, my Petite Blues created with Made by Cow Milk is going so well it's ridiculous. Ready on Thursday, September the 19th. The blue mould growth is brilliant. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to seeing the reports of your Petite Blue, Monique. Should be interesting. Hopefully you like the video that I made around the stirred curd cheddar I made with that same milk. Very expensive. Now, people were asking me how much it costs. So I know that a 1.5 litre bottle was $6 Australian. So that's quite expensive. So you can get standardised milk, which is not the same, obviously, for $1 a litre here in Australia. But if you bought... what is it? It's about $2.50 a litre for pasteurised, unhomogenised milk, which is fine. And I use that. I get that from Inglenook Dairies. But yeah, it was on the expensive side, but it worked amazingly. Anyway, moving right along. John says, better to make cheese with and then dust with chocolate or work in cacao powder for chocolate cheese. Yes, I've seen people coat the outside of the cheese with cocoa powder and olive oil, and that permeates through the cheese a little bit better than using, say, chocolate milk, which has got all sorts of additives, thickeners, sugars, and all that sort of stuff. But you're absolutely right, John. Southern Belle says, Gavin, I love your channel. Thank you very much, Southern Belle. Kimmy's popping up all the links that I've been spruiking, so that's good. Larry says, on an earlier live show, you mentioned one of your Cotswold recipe methods was better. I do not remember which one you recommended. I mentioned one of your Cotswold recipes methods. Yeah, so the most recent Cotswold Larry that I made. Kim might be able to find the link for that one. It's the most latest one, Kim. If you can find that for Larry, I think I made it in about. I think it was in late February, March. I think. But yeah, we've done the taste test on that, and it's an amazing cheese. Really is. Aged for 4 or 5 months. McNubbers says, "Hi, Cheeseman." Hi, McNubbers. Great name. Smiths says, "Have you created your own cheese? And if so, how would you describe it?" There are two cheeses that I claim that I've made the recipe for. The first one is Petite Blue, and Kimmy can put the link up for that one, and that was amazing. And the second one is my Bloomy Goat Blue. Probably, well, the way I made it was original, as far as I can tell. But there are cheeses in that style, goat cheeses, that have been ash sprinkled and have a bloomy rind. So I didn't absolutely invent the concept, but I wrote the recipe and used it. So that's pretty cool. Where are we? Kimmy's put up the link for Borson. Patricia says Gavin's Ploughman cheese used. I've lost it. Gavin's Ploughman Cotswold used garlic powder as opposed to fresh garlic. I made it and it was marvellous. Yeah, it added a certain je ne sais quoi, I suppose, to the cheese that normally would just have onion flakes and chives to it. So it was amazing, a lot better than what the original Ploughman's was. But thanks for the link there, honey. That's excellent. Brainwashed Jake says, "Hello, new viewer from England. Love your videos. Just wondering what's my favourite cheese." You're probably not going to believe this, Jake, but all the cheeses are my favourite cheese. I love them all. I love them all, except the processed ones. I'm not so fussed on some of those ones. John says, "Chocolate binds with the calcium in the milk proteins, and chocolate milk can't get back to curds, especially US chocolate milk with extra carrageenan, I think that's a carrageenan gum, making it all slimy. Chocolate yogurt instead." There you go. Well, I won't even try then, because our chocolate milk has that gum in it as well. So maybe not even worthwhile doing. Zaid says, "Hi, Gavin. I want to know, when you say cheese salt, are you referring to table salt, all-purpose, or is that a specific kind of salt?" Yeah, it's a specific kind of salt. It's non-iodized, so any non-iodized salt will work for cheese making. Let me just get that straight. You don't have to go and buy something that's labelled cheese salt. Two grades of cheese salt that I use anyway are a coarse grade with no anti-caking agent, or table salt without iodine in it. So as long as it's got no iodine in it, it works a lot better. So yes, you could use table salt as long as it's non-iodized. Okay, don't have iodized. Matt says, "Zaid, it's non-iodized salt." Yes, kosher salt. Yeah, that sort of thing. Flaky sea salt, all works, no problems at all. Matthew says, "If I make cheese with a bee linens culture, is it going to stink out the house?" Well, it depends. Oh, that's a good one, because it's brought back memories, actually. Hang on. Yes, it will. Just ask Kim, and Kim can chime in if she likes the stinky washed rind cheeses. We love eating them, but in the cheese cave, it kind of stinks everything out. So yes, it may smell when you open the ripening box. It's like cutting the cheese. I think that's an American expression. Yeah, it does pong a bit, but it tastes amazing. It's worth it. It's really worth it. Goodness me, why wouldn't you make it? Kangaroo says, "Besides halloumi and feta, are there any cheeses you might recommend I make with goat's milk?" It's only unhomogenized milk I can buy at my local market. Kangaroo, you can make all the cheeses with goat's milk. There's no limitation. Just add a little bit more rennet, and always add calcium chloride with goat's milk. It helps set the curd a lot better. You can make goat's milk cheddars, no problems at all. And I don't think Ruth is in the chat. She made one last week, and it turned out very, very well. So you can even make goat's milk hard Italian style, like Parmesan Romano. In fact, there is a goat's milk Romano. It's called Caprio Romano. I think I've seen that. So yeah, goat's milk. Use your imagination. Go wild. Don't forget that you can make a great sherbet. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's goat's milk cream cheese. Has a great tang. Absolutely fantastic on bagels, toast, anything like that. Great morning cheese. So yeah, there is a video link for Sherv. Kim, can you pop that up, please, love? But like I said, any of the cheeses that I make, you can make with goat's milk. There's lots of people probably watching right now that that do use goat's milk. Jack says, Gavin, I'm wondering if you could speak about your perspective on the unique Australian cheese scene. My perspective. Well, I don't really get in contact with artisan cheesemakers here in Australia. More of a home cheesemaker. Don't do anything in the commercial scale, teaching you guys and girls how to make your own cheese at home. So really, I don't have much of a perspective on the unique Australian cheese scene. I know there are a lot of artisan cheesemakers out there. I've been to the Mould Festival that was started by Nick Haddo, who runs Broody Island Cheesemaking Company down in Tasmania. They do some amazing cheeses down there. But there are amazing artisan cheesemakers all throughout Australia, and they do make some fantastic cheeses. And I've tasted many of them when I can get my hands on them. That's the problem. You really do have to go to one of the city cheesemongers to get your hands on some great Aussie cheeses. But there are some great ones. Brett says, I did a bunch of blues a while ago. Have you ever done a blue chev? So a goat's milk cheese. Yeah, Brett, kind of. Yeah, the Bloomy Goat Blue was had a hint of blue, but because it was 10 days old, there was hardly any blue development at all. I didn't really want that. I just wanted the flavour of the blue in the Bloomy Goat Blue. So that's the only one I've done. Goat's milk's very expensive here for me because I can only get it in the shops. If there was a supply of goat's milk readily available, if anybody knows of that in my area, in Victoria or anyway in Australia, then let me know and I'll see if I can pick some up. But yeah, that'd be cool. I saw something from Marianne. Where's that? There we go. Marianne. G'day, Marianne. Says, is there any way to make liquid calcium chloride from pickle crisp? There is indeed. So you can use, and let me just find that link. Making talk amongst yourselves. Yep, there is. It's hopefully the link jumps out at me. No. All right, there's a blog. Let me just see if I can find it. Much ado about cheese. And oh, he's updated his page. Very nice. Can I search anywhere on his page? No, there's no searching. If you pop over to Ian Trower's blog, who I did a podcast interview on a while ago. Oh, here we are. Maybe no, there's no search bar. It's called muchtodoaboutcheese.com. Hang on, I'll just put it up. What am I doing? I've got a screen here. Here we go. So this blog here, much to do about cheese. There is a link, Marianne, about making using pickle crisp, which is a thing made by Ball. I think it's calcium chloride. Sorry, not calcium chloride. It is. It's calcium chloride in powdered form, and there's a formula on how to make it into a liquid form to use for cheese making. Anyway, hope that helps a little bit. I'll just pop the link in the chat. Makes it easier. Here we go. There we go. Okay, moving right along. Where are we up to? Ethan. G'day, Ethan. What cheeses are better to make with homogenised pasteurised milk? Had issues getting consistent quality milk of other kinds. Ethan, one of the best things about homogenised pasteurised milk is it makes the curds very small. Now, have a look for cheeses that have very small curds. Ones that come to mind, obviously, are the hard Italian cheeses, so Parmesan, Grana Padano, Romano, Vecchio Romano, that sort of thing. And also the Alpine style cheeses are heated to a high temperature. So anything that's heated up with the milk, the recipe says heat the milk or heat the curds, over 48 degrees Celsius. And that kind of milk really does work well. So, Ethan, there's some hints. Ganesh says, hi, Gavin. Who are your other favourite YouTube cheesemakers? Great question. I actually did a blog post about that not so long ago. Let me see if I can find it. Where are we? There are some. There's a few. Here I am, always searching, and I can never find. Oh, here we are. All right, so over to the desktop screen. So over on Little Green Cheese, which is my blog about cheese making, a guy called Aga did a fan film. He makes his own cheese, which was cool. But some other cheesy channels, and I think it's gone by the wayside now, but it's Job's Cheese Lab, great channel, does lots of cheese. Another one is Cheese 52 by Lisa. She does some great cheeses as well. So you go and check out her. And obviously Larry's on the channel too, from Deep South Texas. He does some wicked cheeses. Oh, stop that. He does some wicked cheeses as well over on his channel. So I'll just pop that link up to my blog post so you can go and see all those. Hopefully that helps out. Let's go back to camera 2. That's cool. Alrighty, so Ganesh, hopefully that helps. There's some couple of up and coming ones I saw the other day. Let me just quickly go to YouTube. Take me 2 seconds. Maybe not. Depends on how slow the internet is. YouTube. There we go. Anyway, here we are. Here's a channel. Let me just see. Let me go back to desktop. So this channel here, Blue Cactus Dairy Goats. She does a lot of cheese making with goat's milk. So anybody who's having issues with goat's milk, great place to go and check it out. So Blue Cactus Dairy Goats. Let me just take that channel URL, pop it in the thing, and there you go. So hopefully that helps you out there. Let's go back to camera 2. Righto. Anyway, let's move along. Link above for Cotswold. Thank you, Kim. Tammy says, I just want to say that I found you a month ago, and thank you so much for all the work you have done making your videos so great. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. I really do. Okay, Kimmy's just put the link up for, well, not just, a while ago, for Petite Blue Cheese. Ethan says, also, how do you handle a pressed cheese that doesn't press well, even after extra time in the press? What you can do is dunk the cheese into some very hot water. I've done this before. So boil up some water, let it cool down to about 60 degrees-ish Celsius, that is. And let it sit in there for about 10 minutes and it start to go a little bit soft, and then and you wash out some of the acid, unfortunately. But do that and then repress it and turn it over, and it should be fine. Well, we got our first super chat for the day. Fantastic. Let me just turn the Curd Nerd sign off. And it's from Jim Jackson. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate your $5 super chat. He says, G'day, Gavin and Kim. It's great to see y'all again this evening. Good morning where you are. Great as always to catch the weekly meeting of the Curd Nerds. Indeed it is. Thank you so much, Jim, for your $5 super chat. All right, moving right along. Atlee says, I'm from Iceland and really enjoyed your video about Icelandic skier. You should check out something called Missingur. It's a caramel cheese spread that's really tasty on toast. Sounds a bit like my sauce, but Missingur. I will check that out and see what I can come up with. Kimmy's popped up the link to the Bloomy Goat Blue. Thank you, love. Jason has said, you have inspired me to new avenues with cheese making. I was wondering if I try some horseradish cheddar. I would introduce the horseradish the same as your jalapeno. Love your videos. Yes, indeed, Jason. That is when you do it. So when you're milling the curds, so add the salt, mill that in, then add whatever additive you want to add in, whatever herb, spice, horseradish, add that in. It should be fresh horseradish, of course. That should work. I don't think that'll have any effect. It'll be the same as my jalapeno cheddar, which didn't rot, tasted fantastic, absolutely lovely. Okay. I hope that helps, mate. Ethan says, pickling salt is a good alternative to cheese salt, available at most grocers. Yeah, indeed, because that doesn't have iodine in it as well, which is good. Okay. Where are we? I am lost again. Oh, okay. Frank says, have you tried cheese that supposedly has maggots in it? No. And thank goodness they don't import it into Australia. You can only get it in Sicily, and it's called Casumarzu. And no, I will never try that cheese. Monique says, Matt, you can reboil brine after using it and cool it down. I store mine in the freezer. Sometimes you need to top it up a bit with more boiled water. Indeed, I must have missed a brine question somewhere, did I? Sorry about that. Leonardo says, are you thinking about queso minis? I found the recipe and I'm waiting for it to mature, but would like to see your recipe too. I haven't got around to that, Leonardo, because you need raw milk for it, but I could try it with the cold pressed raw milk. Don't know if it'll have the same flavour, but I'll add it to the list again just to remind me. Don't know if it'll turn out the same, but anyway, give it a go. Chocolate RX says, I once purchased chocolate cheese. It wasn't good. There wasn't any real chocolate flavour. Some things are not meant to be combined. Best to eat chocolate with different cheeses. Indeed. Kimmy's got a comment here. Stinky cheese. When Gavin opens the cheese fridge, the smell travels around the house. Yeah, it does. And don't I get an ear bashing for that? But that's okay. That's part of being a cheesemaker. But it always tastes good. Yes, it does. Kim says, Ruth sent us a great photo with the biggest mozzarella stretch ever. I don't know if Ruth wants me to share that, so she sent it to me personally, so I won't share that with the crowd. If she was here, I'd ask her, but she's not, so maybe next week. Matthew says, an unusual cheese here in the Netherlands is called Russello Black Lemon. It's a cheese that is pure black in colour and lemon flavoured. Unusual. I'll have a look. See what it's made of. Russello Black Lemon. I think it's probably got activated charcoal in it somehow, or at least a coating of it. Sounds like it. And the lemon flavour, who knows? Lemon juice would just curdle the cheese. It doesn't really impart too much of a flavour. Zaid says, is fresh yogurt can replace mesophilic and thermophilic culture? Fresh cultured yogurt can replace thermophilic Zaid, but it does impart a certain tanginess to the cheese as well. I have used it before. Oh, my own links. That's nice. I'll move on in the chat. Matt says, do you currently have any plans to make Colby Jack cheese? I would love to see your version. That is a good idea as well. I got so many ideas, I don't know where to start. Colby Jack. Yes, that is a well-known cheese in the US. Okay. Ethan says, thanks so much for all the tips today, the past and going forward. Thanks, Ethan. Appreciate it. Matt says, thank you for the advice on using buffalo milk for mozzarella. Came out amazing. No problems at all, Matt. I'm glad you got your hands on some. Patricia says, have you heard of adding lemon zest to cheese? How would you handle the zest? Ooh, how would I do that? I think I'd make sure you don't get any of the pith, because that is very bitter. But the lemon zest itself, you can buy dried lemon zest or dry it in a dehydrator, Patricia. I think that would be the best bet. I don't think adding it fresh would be very good. Or maybe fresh for fresh cheeses, it would be okay. Would it rot? No, it's fairly acidic, so it probably wouldn't. Just going through this in my mind. You might be. You'd have to get a lot of lemon zest. It's very zingy stuff, but I think dried would be better. So if you can dehydrate it somehow, if you've got a dehydrator, Patricia, then probably that's the best. And add it at the same time. Milling is the best stage to add it if you're going to make something like a lemony cheddar. I think that would be the best. Frank says, do you do this as a hobby or have a cheese business? Love the content. Well, it started off as a hobby, Frank, and it did turn into a business, but it's not the cheese business you think it might be. In fact, this week we got a phone call from somebody saying, how much is your cheese? And I said, well, I don't sell the cheese. I'm not licensed to sell cheese. But what we do, I'm using the gold rush analogy, which seems to work quite well for us. So during the gold rush, I'm thinking of the Victorian Australian gold rush here, the miners were not the ones that made all the money. Guess who made all the money? It was the people selling the hardware to the miners that made all the money. Anyway, so having said that, and not trying to sound cocky or anything like that, Kim and I run a shop called Little Green Workshops, and it has a very large cheese section, which is here. And you may have noticed the banner from somewhere else on my YouTube channel. But yeah, we sell cheese accessories, kits, the molds and cultures, rennet, equipment, cheese baskets, ingredients, some books. We've got some good books, and obviously merch that is on this channel as well. So yes, it did turn into a business. Cheesy of sorts, partly cheesy, but we do sell other things obviously on the shop, like soap making equipment, candle making equipment, bath bombs and body stuff. So it's more than just cheese, but it's a quite eclectic little collection of products that we like, and we actually teach courses. We will be teaching again next year, but we kind of had a year off due to some medical issues with our son. So so we do. So there we go. Koprosk. Koprosk. I don't know how you say that. What kind of cheese is recommended, in your opinion, to hot countries? Hot countries as in temperature, or all the people are hot looking? I think for hot countries, fresher cheeses are easier to make. Unless you get yourself your purpose-built cheese fridge, which is just a fridge that you control the temperature around about 10 to 13 degrees. If it's really hot, you may have some issues during the make of the cheese if you're making harder cheeses, because the temperature normally needs to be around 31, 32 degrees Celsius for a lot of the cheeses. And if the indoor temperature is hotter than that, then you won't be able to make the cheese. So that's part of the issue. So fresh cheeses are better. And that's why you see a lot of fresh cheeses in countries like um, India, Southeast Asia, over towards the Arab countries. They're all fairly freshish sort of cheeses because of the heat to make it. But there are hard cheeses in Arab countries as well. So anyway, moving right along. Anand says, "Do you ever sell the cheese I make?" No, I think I just described that. No, I don't sell any of the cheeses that I make. I give it away. Tell you what, to be my friends is amazing. All those cheeses you would have seen, the cheese smorgasbord video, just a quick little teaser that I put up the other day that wasn't very well received, so I won't be doing that again. Um, a lot of those cheeses have been dispatched to friends and family, and they're all very grateful. So Kim put it up on her Facebook page, and they were all gone within a day, so that's cool. I kept half of each cheese for maturation purposes and to mature them a little bit longer, or the ones that we like a lot, like Cotswold, and the Wensleydale with cranberries, and obviously the fake camembert is delicious, which you'll see in the video coming up soon. Anyway, no, don't sell my cheese. Not allowed to. However, if the apocalypse came along and I still had access to milk, then yeah, I'd sell anything. It wouldn't matter. Who's going to catch me? Sinansis, I think that's how you pronounce it. When doing a double batch of cheese, do I just double the amount of calcium chloride and rennet to use? As well as the milk, yes. Indeed. But don't double the temperature, don't double the pressing time, don't double the stirring time. That's all the same. It's just the ingredients you double, including any brining time, which is the same as the doubling the salt. Same thing. Okay, Ganesh says, "Hi Gavin, what cheese books do you recommend?" Yep. So let me just 1 second. I know I've been going to the second page for a bit today, but here we go. When it comes up. So here's a bunch. I did this last week as well. So books that I recommend. Artisan Cheese Making at Home by Mary Carlin's a great book. Home Cheese Making by Ricky Carroll. The fourth edition's really good. My book, of course, Keep Calm and Make Cheese. Can't go past that, really. It's got some great recipes in it. From my early days, I'm working on a recipe addition, so an additional volume to this one. A great one if you want the technical details, which is out of stock. We just can't get it here at the moment. Is Mastering Artisan Cheese by Giannis Caldwell. You can buy it on Amazon. There's some Amazon links down below that I get a small cut of. If you want to purchase any books on Amazon, go check out Gavin's Amazon cheese store. Use that. Mastering Basic Cheese Making is a great little beginner's book by Giannis Caldwell as well. And The Art of Natural Cheese Making by David Asher, which is using raw milk and using your own starter cultures, using kefir grains for starter cultures and things like that. So there's some books I recommend. Okay, what time is it? 18 past. We've got 12 minutes to go. So get all your questions up there. If you've got any burning questions, then super chat me, and we'll go from there. Well, let's have a look. Where did I get back to? Zaid says, what can I replace cultures with? Any suggestions? So mesophilic starter culture you can replace with cultured buttermilk. I don't know if that's available in the shops there. You can use kefir grains. Like I just mentioned, check out the book, The Art of Natural Cheese Making. This one here, it's coming up. So this one here by David Asher, it will teach you all of the old school methods of making cheese. So there he is. Nice looking bloke. Love the hat. It's almost as good as mine. So it's using traditional non-industrial methods, like direct vat inoculated cultures that I use, I suppose. But yeah, go and check out that book, Zaid, and you will learn so much. Okay, Matt says, I would love to see you make, I think it's eyeballs. It's a Spanish cheese that has smoked paprika and olive oil rub. Okay, let me just write that down the list. I have heard of it. I can't get it here in Australia. But anyway, we'll have a look. Maybe I can get it. Jim says, so I would have to live in Australia to be a friend, right? Yeah, I can't ship it, mate, unfortunately. But no, all you guys are my friends. I talk to you enough, so why not? Luke says, hi, Gavin, have you used kefir in a cheese? No, I haven't used kefir grains in a cheese, mate. But yeah, I'll get there one day. Frank says, awesome, man. I'll check out the site. No problems at all. Daryl says, do I use dry or fresh peppers in aged... I don't know what that was. Do I use dry or fresh peppers in aged pepper cheese? Lactobacillus, I think, is natural in fresh peppers. Will fresh peppers impart bad bacteria to the cheese, or will they age well? Daryl, I'm not sure about what you mean by peppers. Are you talking about chili peppers? Are you talking about capsicum that we call capsicum here in Australia? If that's the case, then I've added fresh jalapeno chili peppers to cheese with no ill effects at all. It works well. In fact, Kim, if you can find the link for the jalapeno cheddar, that would be great, and Daryl will see how I did that. And yeah, I used fresh chilies, picked them off the bush that morning. In fact, there's a bit of a video of me picking off the chilies off our chili bush, and yeah, it's very good. I don't know what Kim's referring to. I need Gavin's muscles to help clear the shed out. Not sure what that's referring to, my darling, but yes, I will be cleaning the shed out because we're getting it demolished to make room for something very special, which we may share in the future. Ganesh says, hi, Gavin. Which countries have contributed the most for cheese making? Please rate them in order. Oh, my goodness. No, unfortunately, no. I don't have the time to do that. And I wouldn't know where to start anyway. I'd have to go read back my history of cheese making book. But anyway, what's the most expensive cheese you've tasted to date? Ooh, by weight, I think it was the Lead Dolphin Bloomy White Cheese by Will Studd. And there's actually a video on that as well. Kim, if you can put up the video of the Lead Dolphin cheese that I tasted, very expensive. I think it was like $12 for 100 grams. No, maybe it was more. I think it was like $20 for 100 grams. Very expensive. But I'll tell you what, very runny, bloomy white cheese. Very nice indeed. I think it was a raw milk cheese. I don't know how they got it into Australia, but anyway. Daryl says Habanero. No, yeah. Habanero. I'll get the pronunciation right in a minute. Habanero. Yes, you can put that in. I don't know what Kim's doing. Oh, there we are. Sorry, darling. Yes, excellent. So just for you, Daryl, there's the jalapeno cheddar link, and go and check that out. Jim says, sounds like Kim is keeping a honey to-do list for you, Gav. Oh, no, we got to-do lists all over the place, mate. And they get done, which is good. Our business wouldn't function without to-do lists, that's for sure. Anyway, pretty cool. So, 23 past the hour. I think we'll call it a wrap unless anybody's got any other burning questions right now. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate your time. Without you guys and girls, without my Curd Nerd friends every Wednesday and Saturday, there wouldn't be a show if you guys didn't watch. So how can it be Ask the Cheeseman if nobody asks any questions? But you do, so that's fantastic. I really do like it. If you want to grab any of our gear and equipment, all that sort of stuff, I've shown it a few times now. Let's go to the desktop. Pop over to Little Green Workshops. There we are. .com.au. Kim will put the links up in a second. But that's cool, and you can grab all your stuff. We ship all over the world, so for anybody who's wanting to know. Also, don't forget to check out my blog, which is, and you've seen that as well today, which is Little Green Cheese. I've got a blog that's got hundreds and hundreds of posts and recipes and podcast episodes as well. You'll find my podcast over there. So pop over to littlegreencheese.com and you'll find all that sort of stuff as well, including links to the cheese making part of our shop, which is very cool. Also, don't forget to check out the merch. There's a merch shelf below under the video, I think. If not, there's a link there somewhere for merch. And you can get cool t-shirts, cups like this one, and t-shirts like, here we go. Oh, make cheese, not war. Hopefully I didn't hit the microphone. But all very cool. You can pick those over at Teespring. Don't forget, you can hit the join button or go to Patreon and support the show financially if you so wish. Anyway, we will see you on Wednesday. There will be another video out before then, and that will be the Wensleydale with Cranberries taste test. So watch for that one. And yeah, until next time, thanks, curd nerds, and may all your curds set firmly.